Right, you're going to have to excuse me on this one because the phone is switched on. I've already re-recorded this video once. I don't fancy doing it again. So I've got the phone switched on because this is very much a breaking story about Ajax striker Brian Brobbey and I guess also about André Silva. There's a lot of names to get through here. Let me just take you back through the history of this. So back on it was the 13th of January, did a video on here and said that West Ham were interested in André Silva. In fact, we broke the news over on Hammer's Chat Patreon. But it was very much, if you remember that video, it was an in-emergency break glass transfer. If everything else went badly in this transfer window, then we could go and get André Silva from RB Leipzig. Right, that was it. Late last night, yesterday afternoon, I guess the predictable news started to emerge that West Ham were going to try and push ahead with the deal for Silva. I wasn't overly pleased with this for the reasons I've already stated. For us to get Silva meant that everything else has gone badly. And it has gone badly. There's no doubt about that. West Ham have missed out on our top three targets in this transfer window. And what I would like to say is, there's no way we could have got Jarrod. But make no mistake about it, we could get Gomez on a pre-contract. We could. We're just not going to pay the money. And if he goes to the club that I suspect he may go to, and when I say this, I don't mind. Nobody's going to mind if we lose out to Gomez and he goes to Manchester City or he goes to Arsenal. Everyone's going to get it. Think, okay, we couldn't match that. I do believe that if he goes to the club who I think he possibly could go to, who are outbidding us at the moment, people might turn around and go, how have they managed to outbid us? That should not be the case. Anyway, that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say on that. Banzuzi. Gio said in his video yesterday, can't pronounce the name. I've just gone for it. I think I've mucked it up. We've struggled to get that one over the line as well. I'm actually just about to check my phone at the moment. It's fine. Don't worry. We've not signed anyone or sold anyone in the last 30 seconds. We're missing out on these targets. So I think, for us to sign Silva, irrespective of whether you think he's a good or a bad player, would have necessarily been bad news for West Ham because it would have just indicated failure. And for that reason, I'm not that keen. When I had a look back, when I did the video before, I didn't know much about the player at all. It has to be said. He's had 2 prolific seasons. Now, he clearly had potential, but we're not talking about potential anymore. He's 29 years of age. He's had 2 prolific seasons. He had a big transfer to AC Milan, 30 million euros, and then another transfer from Frankfurt to Leipzig, 23 million euros, 50 odd caps for Portugal. But, some have suggested he's been out of the team at Leipzig because he's had injury problems, fallings out with coaches. I'm not sure that's the case. Just don't think he's good enough to get the players out there. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Is he good enough for West Ham in the team that we put out against Crystal Palace? Of course he is, right? But I think it doesn't encourage excitement, really, does it? However, yesterday, late last night, it was revealed that we were in contract talks with Brian Brobbey. Now, as I understand it, on Wednesday, we were approached by his agent saying that a deal could be made. And make no mistake about it, a deal can be made. Ajax are willing to loan us Brian Brobbey for the rest of the season. It's been completely over suggested that he's again flying over for transfer for medical. That's not the case at all. But we're very close to a deal for him. We've just got to pay a little bit more money apparently, and I'm not sure we're willing to do that. I think in terms of the player himself, it's very easy to concentrate sometimes on what the negatives on a player rather than the positives. The truth of the matter is, with this guy, he is injury prone. He's not got a great injury record. So obviously, you'd look at it and think, well, don't bother. And I would certainly agree in terms of buying him at an inflated price. But he is fit now. I think he might have even played last night. He is fit now. And I think he's exactly what West Ham need. I've got to say, he would have been brilliant under David Moyes, actually. He gives you a little bit of everything. I'm always crying out for more pace, more speed in the West Ham team. He brings that. He gives you that. He would actually be our quickest player. And that's something surely that's got to count for something. He can also He can play the target man role. He's big, he's strong, he's fast as hell. I think he's a really, really good player. And make no mistake about it, his goal scoring record this season has not been particularly good, and he is a little bit injury prone. Without that, West Ham don't get this player. It's the only reason we would be able to get him. Okay, that being said, he is available, and I think the qualities that he would bring to the team would be excellent. Look, with his back to goal, really good, really strong, can lay the ball off. Which, we saw that with Füllkrug in the 13 minutes. We've seen it for more than 13 minutes, to be fair. But in the 13 minutes that Füllkrug played against Aston Villa, that was great. What Füllkrug can't do is then spin and try and run in behind. In fact, the one time he tried to spin and sprint, he got injured. Brobbey can do both. Brobbey can really stretch the defence as well. So he can hold the ball up because he's strong enough to do that, or he can run in behind. It was quite funny, actually. I don't know if you joined us. I can't remember. We did a build-up show. It was while Lopetegui was still in charge, and I think we were so downbeat and dejected about the whole thing that we ended up talking about Football Manager, and we started asking people in the live chat, well, what have you ever done on Football Manager? And people were saying things like, well, I took Exeter to the Champions League final and stuff like that, which was really funny. But what has been amusing today is everyone's been sharing me their stories about Brian Brobbey. They signed him on Football Manager, and he was absolutely brilliant. Obviously, I know, and I just have to say this just as a disclaimer, because some people don't always recognise everything. I am joking there, by the way. I'm not suggesting we sign him because he was good on Football Manager, but I think it was anyway. I think the point is he's always been a player of high potential, and I don't know. This is the first one I've really got excited about that I've believed could happen. Let's put it that way, and this can happen. And I really hope West Ham push this deal over the line. I don't know who's negotiating this one. The truth of the matter is very, very fragmented at the club. There's too many cooks, far too many cooks at the moment. As I understand it, Karen Brady was negotiating the deal for the Dutch midfielder, whose name I'll try not to slaughter again. We've got these third-party representatives who have gone and tried to negotiate for the Jarrod deal and for the Gomez deal. I don't know who's doing the final negotiations for this one. But Tim Stuyton has identified the Dutchman, but not identified this one. So we've got loads of people identifying players. Tim Stuyton's obviously on his way out. We've loads of people negotiating, loads of people identifying. It seems to be a bit of a mess. And I do wonder what Graham Potter must be thinking if he's come into the club. And because, although it's crap in this window, whether you think our summer transfers are good or bad, you would still look at the summer and you'd think, well, hold on, we brought 9 players in. West Ham can sign players. We can sign players. Forget whether they're any good or not. We can sign players. Yet, Potter's probably in here thinking, hold on, I thought this lot could sign players. They can't sign players. And this is how it's looking at the moment. So, I'm just checking my phone again because I don't want to re-record this bloody video again. There's nothing. There we go. So as things stand, we're still in for both Brian Brobbey and André Silva. I do have to say, and this is no reflection on Silva. Silva could come in and do a decent job on loan. Gio did a video last night. What he said in that video, I do agree with. I think it's more what it symbolises. If Silva comes in, it is. We've managed to sign the only player, the one player that was offered to us on a plate, because everything else had mucked up. Hopefully not. I want to get excited, and I think that's the thing. I think if we sign Silva, I'd say, well, okay. I think what would happen if he came in, then by the time Bowen's fit and everyone's fit, I don't even mean Füllkrug, by the time Bowen's fit, if he's got Bowen, Paqueta, Somerville and Kudus, then I'm not sure that André Silva's playing. I think if we get Brobbey and he hits the ground running, I think he carries on playing in the team. And I think that in itself, I do think is a difference in terms of being able to get excited about a player. Come on, West Ham, come on. We need a bit of something. We really do. Get a deal over the line. Pay whatever it is, pay it. And I just want to say whatever it is, pay it. I don't mean pay Ajax 50 million and pay Brian Brobbey. You don't want to get that too far wrong, do you? I'm not saying pay him 200 grand a week or whatever the case may be, but the margins are quite small. As I understand it, in the Gomez deal, we've not offered the players sort of representatives and the players basically, we've not offered them enough, but we're 30 grand behind on the wages on what another Premier League club are offering. Just match it. Do 30. It's on a free. Do that 30 grand. Match that. And let's see. Let's have a little go. I do worry that we're being very, very cheap on a lot of this stuff. Very cheap. And anyway, it's a conversation for another day. There you go. I might as well get this up now because anything could happen today. And it usually does.